Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Muhammad Podcast. I am here joined with myself, Muhammad Jerman. This will be a solo podcast where I'm just going to talk. Before we begin, I want to ask our audience a quick question just to get our brains warmed up. Here it goes. Between 2001 and 2022, how many times did the US and Russia share information with each other about their nuclear weapons? Is it A, 0 times? Is it B, 25 times? Or is it C, 25,000 times? If you said A, then you are extremely wrong. If you said B, then you are also wrong. And if you said C, then yes, you are correct. Yes, that is right, 25,000 times. Did you know that 82% of adults get this question wrong? Everyone is always scared that a nuclear war or World War III is going to happen any day now. But why do so many people get this question wrong and think that a nuclear war is going to happen? This reminds me of a book that I read by Hans Rosling called Factfulness. He talks about a little thing called the fear instinct. Now, what is the fear instinct, you might ask? Well, it is an instinct that our ancestors used to use that has now been passed down to us. But these days, we aren't going out in the wild and hunting for food or running away from dinosaurs. Instead, we are sitting at home watching the news or being active on social media. But how does this relate to the fear instinct? Well, Hans Rosling has a quote that I found quite interesting. He states that for the first time in world history, data exists for almost every aspect of global development. And yet, because of our dramatic instincts and the way the media must tap into them to grab our attention, we continue to have an overdramatic worldview. Of all our dramatic instincts, it seems to be the fear instinct that more strongly influences what information gets selected by news producers and presented to us consumers. The news has discovered a cheat code. You see, they realize that because we focus on the most dramatic parts of the world, they can tell dramatic and negative stories to get more attention and views, which will end up giving them more money. And that is very true. Personally, I always see on the news, and especially in politics, on how everyone is saying that, a third world war is going to break out and the world is going to end and this country is going to hurt us and so on and so forth. But I am here to tell you that this is not even close to the truth. The world has actually never been more safe. You see, what the news is doing is very problematic. But why is it though? Isn't it the job of the news to tell us stories and inform us about what is happening in the world? While you may be correct, the media only wants to focus on the negative things. This gives them more views and money, and people, especially the elderly, almost believe everything that they see on the news. This causes division and hatred between people, which is what the news want. They want consumers to feel this way so they can come back and watch the news for updates and hear more stories about them. Now, going back to the misconception, what do you think are the odds of a nuclear war happening? If I were to ask someone this, they would on average say 40 to 70% that it will happen in the next 100 years. But an article from ASPI states that Richard Garwin, the designer of the first hydrogen bomb, calculated that if the probability of nuclear war this year is 1%, and if each year we manage to reduce it to only 80% of what it was the previous year, then the probability of a nuclear war for all time will be 5%. We can live moral lives with that probability. We as humans always want to assume the negative, but in reality, things have never been as good as they have. If we stop watching the news and move away from these negative stories, we will see how great the world is. The media will also realize that these negative stories are not giving them any money, so they will start producing them, and that would be amazing. But you know what else is amazing? Cheese crackers. And this leads us to our sponsor. With no artificial flavors, these are the perfect snacks to eat while watching this podcast. There's a great deal going on right now where if you buy 2, you get 1 free. And not only that, but I get to keep on producing great content like this. Now back to the podcast. Anyways, personally, I always see on the news how these negative stories are influencing people. I see that my friends and relatives, they're always arguing about what's going on in politics and what's going on in the world. And no, a nuclear war is not going to happen any day now, and the media is trying to influence us by telling negative stories and making us develop an overdramatic worldview. We should combat this problem by not giving them any attention. This will fix our problem and the world will be more peaceful, and then we can finally understand and see how great of a time that we are living in. And until next time, goodbye.